Hi everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder if your parents are secretly tracking your every move online and off? Well, this new study has some surprising answers. We hear so much about parents worrying about their teens, and with all the technology out there, it is super easy for parents to keep tabs on us. But what exactly are they tracking, and why this study dives deep into whether parents are digitally watching our grades, our locations, and even our money? They wanted to see how common this is, who is doing it, and what it means for everyone involved. It seems like digital tracking tools are everywhere for parents now, offering effortless access to information way beyond just talking things through. But this also raises big questions about our privacy and independence. Traditionally, parents found out what we were up to by talking to us or by us telling them. Kids often manage what information they share as they get older. But now with apps and online portals, parents can get information kind of passively without us actively telling them. Think about it, they can see your grades in real time or know where you are without you even having to say it. The study highlights that this is a very one-sided information flow. So the big question is, what are parents actually tracking? The researchers looked at 3 areas: school performance, location, and finances. They surveyed over 500 parent-teen pairs. They found that almost all parents, almost every single one, 99.6%, were tracking at least one of these things. School performance was the most tracked thing. Almost everyone was checking on grades or homework. Financial activities were also super common. Location tracking was done by a good chunk of parents too, around 65%. It is not just about what is being tracked, but also who is doing the tracking and who is being tracked. The study found some interesting patterns. Younger parents tended to track school and finances more often. Mothers were more likely to track school performance than fathers. Parents with less education also tracked school more. For the teens, it was also interesting. Younger kids got tracked more for school stuff. Boys' school performance was tracked more than girls. And teens in lower educational tracks were tracked more across all domains. This might mean that parents are keeping a closer eye on teens they perceive as more at risk. This is where it gets really interesting. The researchers wanted to know if parents who are more anxious or worried tracked their kids more. They tested if parents with higher general anxiety or neuroticism tracked more. But surprisingly, they didn't find a direct link between parental anxiety or neuroticism and how much they tracked. Instead of anxiety, the study found a strong link between frequent digital tracking and overprotective parenting. Parents who saw themselves as more overprotective were more likely to track their teens frequently across all domains. This suggests that digital tracking might be a modern way for parents to be overprotective, to try and manage perceived risks. So what do the teens think about all this tracking? Generally, most adolescents found digital tracking acceptable. They were okay with parents tracking school performance and finances. However, location tracking was viewed more critically. About a quarter of teens found being tracked by location not okay. It is also interesting that many teens actually thought their parents tracked them more than their parents reported. This suggests a lot of awareness and perhaps some level of acceptance of this new way of parenting. Given how much tracking is happening and how it is linked to overprotection, you might expect it to harm teen well-being. But here is another surprising finding. The study found no strong links between how much teens were tracked digitally and their levels of anxiety, depression, or even feeling pressured by school. This suggests that while tracking might be happening a lot and be linked to parental worries, it is not necessarily making teens feel worse in terms of their mental health. To make sure their findings were solid, they also looked at data collected 5 years earlier. This replication study showed similar patterns. The connection between overprotection and tracking held up. They also found that both tracking and teen acceptance of tracking have increased since 2019. Digging a bit deeper, the researchers explored other things that might drive parental tracking. They found that parents who have a hard time with uncertainty or who see the world as a dangerous place were more likely to track their kids. This really reinforces the idea that parents' own perceptions and anxieties play a big role. They also found that when parents reported tracking frequency, teens and parents often disagreed, with teens sometimes reporting more tracking. Comparing the 2019 and 2024 data, they confirmed that parents in 2024 reported tracking school and location more often than in 2019. And teenagers in 2024 found tracking location and finances more acceptable than those surveyed in 2019. This really shows a trend of increasing digital tracking and increasing acceptance of it. So what does all this mean? This study shows that digital tracking is incredibly common and many teens accept it. But it seems to stem more from parental anxieties and a need for control, rather than from teens actually having big problems. It's like parents are using these tools to try and feel better about their child's safety and success. The key takeaway is that nearly all parents are digitally tracking their teens in some way. School performance is the big one, and while teens are generally okay with it, location tracking makes them a bit uncomfortable. The fact that tracking has increased over time and teens accept it more now suggests it is becoming a normalized part of modern parenting. What is really striking is that the study really points towards parents' own insecurities and fears driving this digital tracking behavior. It's not necessarily because the teens are misbehaving or struggling. It seems to be a way for parents to manage their own worries about the world and their child's future. Perhaps most surprisingly, the research found no direct link between frequent digital tracking and negative teen well-being like anxiety or depression. This might be because teens are growing up in a world where this kind of monitoring is normal and accepted. Now, every study has its limits. This one used self-report measures, which can sometimes be a bit off. Also, they only studied families in the Netherlands, so we need to be careful about applying these findings everywhere. And they didn't look at tracking phone use, which teens might find more intrusive. What is really needed now is more research over time to see if tracking actually reassures parents or if it just feeds their fears. It is a complex cycle. So to wrap it up, digital tracking is a huge part of modern parenting. It's common accepted by teens and seems driven by parental worries and a desire for control. While it doesn't seem to be directly hurting teen well-being right now, we really need more research to understand the long-term effects on both parents and teens. It's a constantly evolving landscape of parenting in the digital age. What do you think about parental digital tracking? Let us know in the comments below, and if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more deep dives into the science of us.